I'm a coaster, and a very proud coaster indeed. Mum and Dad are both Irish Catholics, both long dead, bless them. Mum came from inland Blackball area, riverside town called Moonlight, which is the site now of the Pike River mine disaster. And Dad came from a place called Kotaku, which is near Lake Prana. So that's where I came from, humble, modest background, West Coast Irish Catholic. I'm second of 7. Dad died when I was 11, so brought up by Mum as a widow. I was educated in a Catholic school by the Marish brothers initially. I left when I was 15. I'd been 4 years without a father, and it'd be fair to say I might have developed some habits that were not considered savoury at the time. Mum said to me that I was getting out of control and I had to make an informed decision about what I wanted to do with my life. And her idea was that if I got a school certificate, which is about as high as you went in those days, if I got school cert in 5 subjects out of 5, she would allow me to leave school. Because it was fairly clear that I was interested in anything else but school at the time. So I fulfilled my part of the bargain. She took me to the train, kissed me goodbye. I became a jockey. I did that for 4 years. I was in the top 10 in New Zealand every year I rode. Ended up riding once for New Zealand in an invitational race. I was a bit of a lost end when I finished riding, so I went and worked on the hydroelectric project at Ohau down by Twizel, which is a fairly bizarre thing to do. But I wanted to save some money and head overseas to have like every Kiwi does, have my opportunity to explore the world and see if there's a better place in New Zealand to live. So I did 2 years in England and 6 months in Israel. I've always been a keen Zionist. I like the way the establishment of Israel and what it brought together, the mix of different people, different cultures. Didn't disappoint me one bit, loved the place. But I also enjoyed my time in England. I worked in the south of England, down around the Newbury, Oxford area. While I was over there, I had plenty of time to reflect and to think about my life. After long reflection, decided to enrol in veterinary school at Massey University in Palmerston North in New Zealand, which is the only place you can do vet school. And I went to New Zealand House and went through all the papers and all the process. Submitted my application and got a 1-sentence letter back from Massey saying you're dreaming. So that was a little bit of a smack on the end of your snout. How do you feel now? But I went back to them and said, well, you tell me how it would work. They said, go back to school for a year, study hard, you might be a chance. I went back and did secondary school at Greymouth. The month before I turned 25, I started school. Nobody ever tells Leo Molloy can't do. It doesn't work in my life. It's not in my culture, it's not in the way I think. The more people tell me I can't do, the more I want to do it and the more I will do it. So when Massey said that, there's only one way I was ever going to respond. The first 4 years was just small animal, and I've got to say that wasn't terribly enjoyable. So not by design, but by accident, an opportunity arose to get into hospitality. And that was a student bar, which I irreverently named Fat Ladies. I've always been acutely aware that my father died at 47 and he had a stroke at 44. So early in about 2005, I started going regularly for full body health checkups. And my doctor brought to my attention that I had increasing blood pressure and increasing cholesterol levels. So I decided to go back into the veterinary space and do hospitality simultaneously. So I went back and did large animal equine type work, so injury recovery, that sort of thing, but high performance thoroughbreds, and did a little bit of commercial horse training at the same time. My first big play in hospitality was Euro Bar, which is over on Prince's Wharf. And Euro was in the top 50 in the world the first year it opened. We use Condé Nast magazine, which means truth and travel literally, as our barometer. And they put it in the top 50 in the world. It made a big difference to Auckland. It arrived simultaneously with the first America's Cup here in town. Then I thought I might try an Irish bar. So I did Danny Doolan's, which has in turn become a legend in the viaduct. I've always been strong in the viaduct space in the downtown Auckland area. I have had one catastrophic failure. In 2003 I went broke, did an over-the-top nightclub. I broke every single rule of business, doing something I knew nothing about. I almost got to the stage where I thought I could do anything, and I mean anything, after Danny's and after Euro and the Fat Ladies chain. And I thought, you know, I was so intoxicated with my own, what I thought was my level of achievement within hospitality that I got a bit delusional, and I thought I'll do the most amazing nightclub ever. So we built it out of Carrara marble, and it was stunning to look at, beautiful space to be in, but no one bought any alcohol. Auckland's been good to me. As I said, we had one hiccup, went to Queenstown, regrouped, came back to Auckland. I've had a fantastic run. I've had a lot of support from the people of Auckland, but my commitment to Auckland City now is that I'm going to give something back. I've still got a boundless energy. I'm still motivated. I enjoy good health. I'm well enough resourced that I don't need to worry about whether I work today or tomorrow or next week. So I think the opportunity here is for a guy who's been there and done the hard yards. I've seen the good side and the bad side of Auckland. I've contributed in a very positive way to Auckland, but now I want to take what I've done in the viaduct and through the Auckland City, and I want to expand that out to the boundaries, down to the Port Waikato and up north beyond Albany, and bring the Leo factor to the rest of Auckland. I know that I can get things done like no one before me has been able to do.
You know, people often say to me, you know, why do you support Leo? And it's for the pure reason he supported us. Yeah. And by supporting us, he supported thousands of people. When the lockdowns first started, the man was bringing food while he was shut and couldn't operate. He was bringing down hot food to give out to vulnerable families. You know, he's helped us to raise a couple of $100,000 to start our community kitchen. I understand this, bro. It's that someone who's seen the coalface, someone that's been in the trenches with us since day one of the lockdown. He understands it, he's seen it, so he knows what needs to be done. You know, I really want him to be mayor, not just because it'll be good for us, for BBM, but it'll be good for our people, be good for Auckland.
I'm a mayor for everybody. Clearly small business needs a hand, small business needs leadership, small business needs a voice. I will be a strong voice for small business, but for everybody. I'm not going to take one sector like hospo and say, come on darlings, I'll rub your back. I've known you all for 30 or 40 years. Let me do you a favour. That's not how Leo works. I will bring a fair and reasonable package to everybody, from South Auckland, North Auckland, both sides. That's what I do. I'll just make Auckland better and we'll all benefit from it. And I'll make Wellington dance to our tune. There'll be no more tail wagging dog.